Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Om Mani Good morning and welcome to the Sunday service. This morning we're going to meditate few minutes. After the meditation, Sai Maharjan is going to give a Dhamma talk. After that, question and answer and chanting. So right now, Venerable Panyaloka is going to lead the Metta meditation.
Now it's time for us to practice a little bit of loving kindness thoughts. Relax your bodies, relax your minds. Sit in a comfortable position. Maybe it is on your chair, on the bed. If you feel like sitting against the wall, feel free to go ahead like that. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Sensations in your body. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and relax your body. Relax yourself. Relax your minds. Practice these loving kindness thoughts. May my mind be filled with the thoughts of kindness, some appreciative joy and equanimity. May I be free from enmity. May I be free from ill will. May I be generous. May I be gentle. May I be relaxed. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be healthy. May my heart becomes soft. May my words be pleasing to others. May my actions be kind. May all that I see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and think help me to cultivate loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, and equanimity. May they inspire friendly behavior. May those experiences be a source of peace and happiness. May they help me to be free from fear, tension, anxiety, restlessness. Teachers, brothers and sisters, relatives, all the well wishers, even the enemies, be free from enmity, ill will, and grudge. May they all be happy, healthy, and peaceful. May all beings in the universe be well, happy, and peaceful. Continue like this 3 more minutes in silence. When you hear the sound of the bell, you can open your eyes and experience the bliss of loving kindness meditation. May all beings be well, happy, and peaceful.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now, time for the Dhamma talk. Today, our speaker, Nepalese Dhamma teacher, Sai Maharjan, and he's going to speak basically every month, second Sunday. He told me we discussed earlier, and he's going to continue every month, second Sunday, his Dhamma talk. Sai, you can start your Dhamma talk right now.
Thank you, Bante. I don't know if I can share my screen. Okay, I cannot. Is it possible, Bante, you can let me share my screen? Okay, thank you. So, let me do this. So this is, okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Bante, for inviting me to share and talk about the Buddha's teaching. I thought to try something new, those who are attending. First, I want to request if you can turn your cameras on. We feel like somewhat connected, even virtually. That would be really helpful to see people. Thank you. There you go. And the second of all, I try to test you. I'm going to keep everyone on their toes as we talk about the Dhamma, because one of the important things when we learn Dhamma is we acquire some knowledge about the Dhamma, and when we practice, it helps us to reflect what kind of information that we have, right? The learning of Dhamma. So what you see on the screen is a barcode. It's kind of a scanning Q code or something. So you use your phone or your computer, you can scan that, and it will allow you to open a slide, PowerPoint slides. Instead of me talking off the topic, I thought to organize myself a little differently, because Santi Bante agreed to have organized sessions for me. So I will be developing at least 12 sessions for our group. And as we go on, you may learn a few Dhamma topics and also explore more about the Dhamma. So you can scan the code, or you can also go to your website, just type kahoot.it, and you can punch that number, and you will be able to join this page, and you will see every now and then you will see a very simple questions that will go along with today's this Dhamma meeting, and it won't be that long. So let's see, if you have any trouble, let me know. I might be able to help. You can, again, use your phone or laptop, just type, let me put in chat. So that link should help you to, it will ask you for a number, and these are the 6 numbers, 822073. There you go, we have a couple of people in there. I'll give about 1 more minute. And just to, instead of just listening to 1 hour or 40 minutes of me talking, this might be a better way to keep us on the same page and test what did we learn from today's teaching, today's Dhamma meeting. Okay, I'll wait for 30 more seconds and we'll start. And once again, if you just joined, I requested if you can turn your cameras on, if you're in a comfortable place, that would be nice. We can see each other, because right now I see Tom, I see Diego, and we have Bante's, Buddhists are never hiding. They're always there. You can see them. So it's nice to see people. Okay, I'll start. And if it is first time you're doing it, that's totally fine. You might be able to figure out in next attempt. And I'll try new things. So I thought to talk about, a very important question that we ask when we think about Buddhism. The reason we are attracted to the Buddha's teaching is I want to believe that we saw the Dhamma is very useful in our life. And my question, my topic in this brief slideshow is enlightenment possible in this life? Now, I'll let you answer that question, because the way we experience this world defines whether we believe in enlightenment or not. And very simple way, we perceive this world through our senses. And that's what you see here: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. And those are 5 senses that we perceive the world. And there's one more faculty in Buddhism. We talk about the mind faculty. And there's a very interesting reason why the mind is also considered a faculty. In science, you might only talk about 5 faculties: eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body, but Buddhism talks about 6 faculties. Now, why is mind considered a faculty? Just like any other senses, we are attracted to desirable, agreeable, and pleasant stimuli. We see the world, things that are pleasant, we like them again and again. We pursue them again and again. And same thing applies to all those 5 senses. Now, Buddha called the mind as the 6th faculty. Manindriya in Pali, it's called Mana Indriya, because mind is also the same way, just like any other faculties. It goes after things that is pleasant, agreeable, and desirable. So mind can be corrupted as well. Now, the other important part about experiencing world through senses is that we can train our senses. We can train eye, ear, nose, tongue, body. For example, you can train to not eat certain food. You can train to, of course, close your eyes when certain sights are not very appealing. And same thing with other senses. Now, that the training aspect is very important when you think about the mind faculty. As the mind can be corrupted, it can also be trained. That's where we call santindriya. That's a term to refer that your trained mind, your trained mind can help you to take beyond this world. So the thinking of the senses, it can easily be enticed by these experiences. You can also train them to restrain certain stimuli, and that is it's a like a light at the end of the tunnel, because it gives us hope that enlightenment is possible. If you think mind is out of our control, we cannot do anything about it, then there's no way we can change whatever we brought here in terms of karma, in terms of our destiny. We cannot do anything. But having that peace, like mind is a faculty and faculty can be trained, that gives us hope that yes, enlightenment can be possible. I think I have a very quick question. You will see a question on your screen. It says that achieving enlightenment is possible in this life. So you can choose yes or no, or true or false on your screen, and it gives me a perspective, where you stand about that opinion. So I have 3 answers. They all said yes. Now that's based on, we don't have strong science. Unfortunately, we don't have science to prove that enlightenment is possible. There are so many people who have achieved enlightenment. Somebody who are interested, they can do study. But based on Buddha's teaching, we know it is possible. It's hard, it's difficult, but it is possible. Because in compared to any other religions, Buddhism teaches that the transformation of our life should be feasible within this life. In other words, now some religion talks about merging with the creator gods, or achieving that highest bliss in life after that. So for that goal, you have to die. And there aren't anybody, there are nobody who have come back to you and come back to human world and telling us that, oh yes, I did all these good things, I prayed, I worshipped, I offered, and I am now with the God. And in fact, there was one king during the Buddha's time, very fascinating story. He did a bunch of experiment with humans. So I'll tell you one very extreme example. He wanted to know if there is a life after death. So what he did was he brought a man and he held hostage all of his family members. And he threatened, I'm going to kill you. And once you're dead, wherever you go, you have to come back and tell me where you were reborn. And of course, having your family on hostage, you would say yes. And the man agreed, okay, I will come back and I'll rescue my family. Even if I'm dead, I'll come back and tell you where I am reborn. Guess what happened? The man never returned. And the king tried another approach, bribing, giving a bunch of properties and goods to tell him, if you come back, I'll double your gift. Nobody came back. The point is, unfortunately, there is no such things that like somebody who dies and who will come back and tell us, okay, this is what happened to me after that. And that's where we question a lot. However, if you understand Buddha's teaching, how karma works, you start understanding that the life is a continuation. Just like every day, your body continues to evolve from your karma, that is big part of karma, the food, the health. The death is another junction for another beginning. And when you think of that, how do we break this cycle? How is it possible to break this cycle? Now, before you think of breaking the cycle, it might be a better question to ask, what is holding me back in this cycle? So if you think from that perspective, it helps us to understand, so what is Nibbana? Is it a place where nothing happens? Is it a realm? Like in Mahayana tradition, and also Brahmanism, they talk about a realm, Sukhavati. It's a place of happiness. It's a realm of happiness. And once you're there, you never return. That's one concept. And in Brahmanism, they talk about your union with the universal Brahma. That is the end of your life cycle, and that is enlightenment to them. And other, people, those who don't believe in rebirth, they might say like, there is no life after this. Whatever you have, that is equal to enlightenment. So many people develop many beliefs. Now, for us, from what I have learned and experienced from the Buddha's teaching is, well, actually, enlightenment is not a place. It's not a place where you walk to and be there forever. Enlightenment is not a realm. It is a transformation of your mind. It's a state of mind. It is not a place. It's not a being. It's not a secured, promise that you can achieve. It's a transformation of your mind. Now, think of, a thought that we have, a thought of anger. Think of a thought of loving kindness. That is a state of mind. We all can achieve that anger. We all can achieve compassion or loving kindness thought. How? Well, we use our faculty to generate those thoughts. Now, in Abhidhamma, the analytical teachings of mind in Buddhism, the Buddha talked about 4 thoughts that arise at the stage of enlightenment. That is Sotapanna Chitta, Sakadagami Chitta, Anagami Chitta, and Arahanta Chitta. So when you say Chitta, it's a consciousness. It's a state of mind. It's not a place where you go. It's not something that someone can gift you. I normally jokingly say that if you meet the Buddha, he cannot offer you enlightenment. He might give you the path, but he cannot give you, here you go, here's your enlightenment, you did so well, you can have it. There's no such moments. And he used analogy during his time. A very rich man comes to the Buddha after his talk, And he tells that, Bante, I'm so busy in my life. I don't have time to practice meditation. I don't have time to come to visit you, to talk, listen to your talk that often. Can you just take me there? Just can you, take me there since I'm so busy? And Buddha smiled and responded to his question, saying that Buddha asked him, where are you from? It's a very odd question to ask, who is asking for enlightenment. So I'll make it contextual. So if you think that somebody asks you how to get to Arizona or Las Vegas, you might tell the direction. Well, you get out of your house, take your car, get on the street, then you hit the 15th, then you go on north, keep driving, you pass, all the hills, and you pass the bar store, keep passing, then you get to Las Vegas. Now, giving that direction, does that take you to the Vegas? The answer should be like, no, you just got the direction. If you want to be in Vegas, you need to follow those steps to get there. You need to get your vehicle, know the right direction, don't get distracted by side traffic or side scenes, so you can reach to Las Vegas. So Buddha's analogy, he said the same thing to that man. If you want to go to one place, does knowing direction take you there? The Buddha's message is that Buddha laid the path. He showed us the path. Buddha's job is to tell us this is the right path. These are the bewilderness in the path. Be aware of them and continue walking until you reach your destination. So the enlightenment, the long way to explain is, it's not a place that, don't misunderstand the analogy. I just used the analogy to tell it's about the journey that no one can offer us. It is by certain practice, certain rigorous practice that we achieve, or that we can transfer our mind. It's a state of mind. It's not a place where nothing is there. Of course, people even after enlightenment continue to experience pain. So if you think of the Arhantas, all the enlightened or perfected ones, they experience pain. One famous story, Chakupala, the monk, if you read the Dhamma stories, the very first story is about a monk who became blind. And literally he lost his sight right on the day he was enlightened. So rest of his life, he was blind. So it's painful. Psychologically, it might be very uncomfortable. You're losing your sight. And there are monks who have severe physical pain, let alone monks, even the Buddha. He experienced quite a few physical illnesses. Right now we call maybe blood pressure. So toward the end of his life, he experienced severe blood pressure, and that caused severe headache. He explained to Bhante Ananda, how painful that headache was. One thing that makes difference is physical pain is there. It's not going to go away because you are still the same human body, same human being. What changed is your reaction to those experiences. Yes, physically there is pain, the presence of pain. You don't suffer. Suffering is very much psychological. You miss how it feels to be healthy. You miss how it feels not to have pain. So we think of those moments and we suffer. It's not the physical pain that's causing suffering. It's our own mind that takes us to the past or to the future, imagining the absence of pain, and we crave for the absence of pain. That's what this suffering comes from. Physically, there is ups and downs. So coming back here, enlightenment, it is possible if we understand the process. It is possible if we think it's a state of mind. Just like I can generate compassion and negative ones like anger and jealousy, I can also generate this consciousness called enlightenment. However, it's not as easy, as simple as we want to see. So there are few obstacles. So that's what ties us back in samsara. All right, why do we need enlightenment? And what holds us back in samsara? All of us as humans, and including all other non-humans, we are tied back to samsara, and Buddha called them 10 fetters, or the binding factors, right? One of them is we develop this self-illusion, sakkaya ditthi in Pali. Now, That is, we start to believe that I am a person, I am myself. So the sense of self starts to develop. As we grow older, as we have more experience through our senses, we start to develop this identity. And we hold that identity so strong as if it's permanent. For example, if you think of the Buddha have this analogy, a mirror. When you walk in front of the mirror, you see your reflection. You know that when you walk away, the reflection is also gone. But certain animals, they don't have that perception like we do. For example, monkeys and dogs, when they see a reflection in front of a mirror, they think that's another being. And when they walk away, they still believe there is that being still in that mirror. So it's similar to that understanding or that belief. There is something lasting even after you remove yourself in front of the mirror. So that's self-illusion. You start to believe, I am permanent. I am going to move from one life to another. That holds us back. And why we develop that? Because we have maybe weaker understanding about impermanence. We have weak understanding about how things come to be and how they disappear. The other one is vicikiccha, doubt about the teachings. Now, when I say teachings, I'm specifically talking about the Buddha's teaching. His teaching, to summarize, is the understanding about cause and effect, understanding about things as they are. In Buddha's word, we call yatha bhuta jnana. Yatha bhuta means as they are by nature, and jnana is the understanding or wisdom. So when you don't have understanding of things as they are, we develop cognitive distortions. I use that word from cognitive psychology, but the Pali word is vipallasa. It's an illusionary view of our experience. So vipallasa, sometimes we see things, impermanent things as permanent, suffering things as happiness, repulsive things as pleasant. So this vipallasa or distorted thinking makes us question because we have unclear understanding about the Buddha's teaching. That doubt is strong. It holds us back in samsara, and instead of exploring how to get out of this samsara. And the third one is silabbata paramasa. That's a Pali term to say that develop rituals. We see that in any religion and non-religion practices, people develop rituals. And we start to believe in this like imagined cultures as so true and strong, it's hard to get out of it. For example, I'll tell you my experience when I used to do Dhamma talks in temple and meditation classes. Certain individuals come to the class and they have a certain ritual. They have to sit certain way, they have to face certain direction and certain cushion. Now, all those minor details turn into an obstacle. You are taken away from the original practice, but to attach to these rituals, right? Those are the rituals. And sometimes those rituals are not helpful. They're actually obstacles. You have to do so and so. Now, imagine we were during the Buddha's time. There was no temple. When he started his journey, right after his enlightenment, he was under the tree. There is no statue, no shining hall, no pillows. Just sit under the tree, bug bites, flies and sun and wind, endure all of that. Your journey is to, train your mind. There was no ritual allowed or developed in that time. Even later on, we have a lot of stories why there is statue, why there are pagodas, why there is a Bodhi tree. These all stories were later brought into the Buddha's teaching. And if you know Buddha's teaching, the original teachings, it's really hard to find any evidence. People tried to develop culture and rituals around the Buddha's teaching, and Buddha was always not into it. People like that, it helps them, go for it, but those are not necessary steps. So if you call ritual, is that you have to have proper precepts. It's again, nothing about external activities. It's about, training your thoughts, training your body and speech. That's what the sila does, the precepts, right? Samadhi, practice your mind to focus on one object, and panya, learn about the impermanence. So he was more into training the mind than training people into different rituals. Anyway, coming back here, I'll keep it short. So rituals doesn't help, it sometimes distracts us, and it becomes really strong, holds us back in samsara. And the other two, we have desires about sensual pleasures, kamaraga, and we also have desires about we also have strong ill will against other individuals. Now, it's a little blur in the background. So these are the stages. These are, again, it's called stages, but those are the consciousness. Stream enterer, that's the sotapanna. That's the very first stage of enlightenment. It's, again, a state of mind. It's not a place. It is the state of mind. You can have that sotapanna or stream enterer state of mind in the moment you destroy first three fetters. So when you destroy first three of them, self-illusion, doubt, and rituals, that's where this sotapanna arises. And people, those who are sotapanna, they will be reborn up to 7 times. That's a really short lifetime left after the first stage of enlightenment. And people, those who go beyond that, once returner, in Pali we call sakadagami. Saka means just once. So once returner, that means the person has gone beyond the stream enterer and trained his mind to have the second enlightenment stage of consciousness, where he weakens this sensual lust and ill will. It's not completely destroyed. He has weakened them. It's weaker. It doesn't have strong urge to those temptations. Now that person only returns once to the sensual world. That is the transformation. The enlightenment is a journey, right? In that sense. And the third one is a non-returner. That person, the person who is in the non-returner, he will be, or she will be, if once the end of this life cycle, he will or she will be born in another realm just once. So he never returns back to the sensual world anymore. And that's where the end of the cycle. And the last one is Arahant. Arahant, there are other 5 fetters that you weaken and destroy. Now let's look at those 5. So you look at here, wish for more lives. That is another obstacle that holds us back. We're human beings. We all know this is not a perfect life. And we secretly wish for another life better than this one. That's a type of desire we call rupa raga, one of the desires. And we wish for subtle life. Some people think like, this sensual world is too much for me. I want to be a being who does not have form, as another realm. It's this type of desire again. And we become arrogant. This mana, comparing, or that conceit is very strong. We compare ourselves with others all the time. And unfortunately, that arrogance or conceit will be there with us until we reach the 4th stage of enlightenment. So it's still in a subtle level, you will have that. And the 9th one is restless. The mind is still agitated. Uddacha, it's the agitation of mind, somewhat unclear. It's a muddy state of mind. And the last one is, of course, ignorant, avidya. Now here, ignorance about the Dhamma, ignorance about cause and effect relationship. So the person who is able to destroy all of these 10 fetters, we call they have gone through the stages of enlightenment. And these stages happen within this life. And just to summarize what I was sharing with you, these are the state of mind when you practice loving kindness, when you practice mindfulness. You have this opportunity to destroy old karma, all the karma that we have done, and not produce new one. That's what in Pali we call kamma kayo nibbana. The destruction of karma is the path for enlightenment. And it's a journey. It's a quite a work for your mind and develop that state. And of course, when we pass through those stages, these stages, none of these mind states are reversible. In other words, once you entered, or once you arisen, the stream enter a consciousness, it will never reverse back. Like if you compare to, let's say, I practice loving kindness, I have compassionate thought, but I'm going to lose that whenever I'm angry, right? But the enlightenment consciousness, they are called supramundane because they are irreversible. Once you arise those thoughts, you have the sotapanna citta and sotapanna phala, the fruition of that consciousness, and they never go away. It's a irreversible state of mind, and that's a transformation. And those individuals are the most active, most compassionate, and the lifestyle of those enlightened individuals are embedded in Dhamma. They don't practice Dhamma for the sake of enlightenment. They live a life of Dhamma. Everything they do is based on Dhamma. So if you have a read history of Buddhism, you will see those enlightened monks gathered and performed some Buddhist council to protect the Buddha's teaching. Those are all enlightened monks. You can only imagine how active they were. They were all dedicated for the Buddha's teaching. So the path that Buddha gave, I'm going to stop the slides here. The path Buddha gave for us is within this life, just to summarize, and enlightenment is not a place, but it's a state of mind. And it is possible by rigorous practice of meditation and by destroying these obstacles that holds us back in samsara. Thank you. I will conclude that, and I'll answer any questions if you have. I'll make sure I have a little shorter slides. I have 18, I just went up to 5. Good trial, but we'll try again next time.
If you have any question, you can ask question or comment.
Is there a distinction between Nibbana and enlightenment?
Enlightenment is the English term. I don't know any better words in English. Nibbana is a Pali term. When you look at the word, bana, it means defilements. So in Pali, bana means defilements. Ni is to destruction of. So when you think of Nibbana is destruction of defilement, it's used in a negative term to refer the state where you have no more defilements. And enlightenment seems like more positive. I don't know the analogy of enlightenment. There are also in Pali, we have some terms we call state of bliss that is similar to what enlightenment is. Sukha, that's another word, happiness. Paramasukha, the ultimate of the supreme happiness, which is similar to enlightenment. So there's a challenge when we use English words and try to translate from what Buddha used in Pali. So it's a parallel word that we hear very often, but looking at Pali word, you understand Nibbana is destruction of all defilement, which is a state of free from defilement.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Tom, for question.
If you have any question, you can ask. If not, we go into the chanting. looks like no question. Looks like everybody's happy. Everybody got to like enlightenment. All right, Sai, thank you so much about your time and everything. I'll call you some other time. Thank you again.
Thank you, Bante. I will prepare topics and I will share with you so you can share with our audience. Thank you, Bante, for...
All right. Thank you. Take care. Okay.
Everyone, you have a wonderful day. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. You too. All right. We're going to chant the page 4 and page 10. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them all. Deluding passions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them all. Dhamma gates are limitless. I vow to study them all. Buddha's way is spring. I vow to attain it. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the stuck fellows be. May the grieving shed all grief, and the sick find health to live. Thank you again for everybody. A few announcements, and temple is open for everybody. You can come and join with us every Sunday, 10 to 12:30. Next Sunday, I think Chandasara is going to give a Dhamma talk. He's going to give a Dhamma talk. And again, thanks for the Sai and thanks for the everybody. And by the power of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, you all be well and happy, and happy Thanksgiving also. Again, thank you for everybody. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.